And we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Herd, guys. So nice to be streaming once again. We're going to have our AMA with Mike, founder of Planet Mojo, and Kendrea, also from the Planet Mojo's team. How are you guys? Really nice to have you in the Crypto Herd. So welcome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having us
having
here,
us.
Bruno. Pumped to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So nice. Planet Mojo is a project I'm really hyped about. So it's really nice to have an AMA with members from the core team. And also you, Mike, you're like the founder, right?
Something like that, yes.
Don't be shy.
It's somebody's fault. Yes.
So
Gotta
guys,
start somewhere. Yeah.
do you want to tell us a bit about who you are, your background, how you got into, how did you start with Planet Mojo? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. I guess I can start. I'll save the best for last, let Kendria go after me. But yeah, I've been in gaming for over 25 years. I started my career at LucasArts in the 90s, which was lucky enough to work there in kind of a magical era on some games people still remember to this day, which is amazing. And done my own thing really for the last 20 years or so in games. Run my own companies, worked with big brands like Hasbro and Mattel and Pepsi, but we've also always done our own games and always kind of gravitated myself personally towards what's cool, bleeding edge, that kind of stuff. And that's kind of how we got into AR and VR, really early 7 years ago. And that led us to last year. We were doing a VR game for Sam and Max, which was a title I worked on way back at Lucas. We were making a VR game out of it. And, when we got to the point where we were just kind of making builds, I became obsessed with blockchain and first NFTs, then blockchain games, and began a very deep dive into the space. And sort of that's what Planet Mojo came out of, essentially. So
Okay.
I'll stop there and let Kendria.
Hi, I'm Kendria. So I've been in the blockchain space since 2017. I always say that I came for Bitcoin and I stayed for Ethereum and just all the things that you can do and its building blocks. So I would call myself definitely a blockchain native. I'm not like a serious gamer, a traditional gamer. Like I play very badly, but but I'm in here. I love the space, but most of all, my passion is people. So it's community and building communities. And I mean, like, what an amazing fit, right? Games and people. So I've kind of found Nirvana here. And I'm, this team that I'm in partnership with are legit. Like, I mean, I've been able kind of to peek behind the veil and see what goes in to making these games and these NFTs. And I can say that these guys they have the goods from design to development. I'm pretty jazzed to be able to see how everything is being made and put together. I think everyone's going to be really floored and amazed.
Okay, that's impressive. That's impressive. Your backgrounds are impressive indeed. So, what is Planet Mojo really? For the people who are not familiar with the project, can you tell us a bit about it?
Sure. Well, it's many things. I think I'll start by saying, on the gaming side, our vision, because I always forget to say this, I'm going to start with it, saying that, our vision is to make an interconnected suite of games that are tied together through these NFTs, and which are Mojos and Champions, which I'll talk more about. But we're starting with an auto chess game and a land-based gameplay, as you've covered brilliantly. But we want to, in short time, we will grow from there. And yet these same characters and teams that you're battling with now and Mojo, you'll be able to take to these other games as well. That's really where we want to take this, and all wrapped around this IP, this story that is Planet Mojo. So to talk about that side, Planet Mojo is, first of all, we wanted to build something that had a rich, deep IP to it, a deep story, a narrative that we could keep telling over years, tell it a very Web3 way using different pieces of media. And so the story is a bit of a mystery, and we'll be coming out with a cinematic soon that'll reveal a little bit more. But at its heart, Planet Mojo is this planet similar to Earth. And an event happens, which you see a little on our website. You'll see more soon in the cinematic, and sort of this mysterious outside threat hits the planet, and the planet kind of reacts in this magical way. And what it does is it gives birth to the Mojos, which are these plant-based creatures, sort of a mix between, you know, Groot and Baby Yoda or something like that. But
Okay.
the planet also sees rise to these giant creatures called the Ancients. And actually, here, why don't I share some art while we're
Okay.
talking
You
about
got
it?
your screen here?
There we go. Thank you. So yeah, these are just some shots from the world and our
Okay, just one thing,
Mojos.
just want to say welcome to the people that are here today. I already can see Be Happy Now Studio and LXB, guys. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, show us the Mojos, Mike.
So these are these plant-based creatures, some of the first sets of them, which we're just starting to come out with, and our minting is Monday. Our pre-mint list ends tomorrow. They're all unique, and this is a sort of the shot of what has happened to the planet after the impact and the crater, and really excited to start sharing the cinematic with people as well. I can show a couple teases at the end of this. And so, as I was saying, these giant creatures, the ancients, here we go,
Whoa.
came to life, and they sort of warned the clans, these which are the champions, the different inhabitants of the planets, which are all based on these sort of anthropomorphic animals from Earth versions of them on Planet Mojo. And their job is, you know, they were basically told to protect the Mojos, because the Mojos, they have magical abilities, and they're sort of the key to saving the planet from this outside threat. So yeah, we put a lot of time into the world and the game as well. So sort of building everything from scratch, but having, you know, built some worlds before like this in our past, and been involved with it at LucasArts. It takes, there's a lot of, you know, building blocks at the beginning that really pay off down the road in terms of sort of where to take the story and kind of what comes next. And so we have a whole sort of plan charted out, even within auto chess, to tell the story as different waves and seasons happened. These are the seeds, the Moj seeds, which Mojos sprout from.
Oh,
And yeah,
artwork is just amazing. I really like the artwork.
yeah, I'm probably over answering your question, so I can stop here, and we can come back to this. But yeah,
So,
but
Mike,
yeah, so, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, you mentioned that the NFT mint is happening right now. So, how's that going, and what is going to be the utility of these NFTs?
Yeah, so we just started our first partnership sale, which is going on right now, and it's open until tomorrow with PokeStarter. And then our sale, which is, you know, kind of what we've really been building up to. We've had a huge amount of signups, really blown us away. That minting begins Monday, June 6th. And yeah, the Mojos have incredible utility. We really just wanted to make sure we were giving back to our early adopters in terms of the rewards and what you get in the game. What you're seeing here is kind of the different rarities. You can see some come with special backgrounds, and the rare, legendary, and mystics actually are animated NFTs. So these have 3D animation, which I can show some of here in a second. And one thing we're going to do once the game launches is be able to update that metadata over time. So in the game, if you win a new victory animation for your Mojo, you could apply that to your NFT as well. So we sort of look at them as living NFTs that can evolve over time, and obviously their stats as well. But yeah, in terms of other utilities and rewards for the Mojo, if you purchase it in this first wave, you're going to get these 4 other random champions out of our first 6 at no additional price. Airdrop to you as long as you hold the Mojos before the game comes out. And this is everything you need to play our auto chess game when it first comes out. Over time, we'll be releasing many more champions, and they'll all have different abilities that you'll be able to mix and match and create different strategies. But this team alone will also give you early access to the game and to our first tournaments as well. So in addition, all these other rewards allow listed for our biomes, allow list spots when our token comes out for a small percentage of people with our partners, and more. So
I mean, it's just an amazing. If Mike, if you can go back to that last slide,
Sure.
just from a community aspect, for the people. I mean, this is an amazing value proposition that we really haven't seen, which is basically you're getting 5 NFTs for the price of one, and so it's not a buy with one hand and hide with the other. We are making it so that day one, when the game is released, you're able to play. It's not get the Mojo and then we have another ask for you to purchase additional assets in order to be able to play auto chess. We've encapsulated into one package. And so, we know that the markets are volatile right now and, people are nervous, but if you would, we always say, take a step back, take a deep breath and look at your landscape, right? So, in doing it this way, we really are saving people their digital assets or their money in the long term, because we're not doing a bait and switch, like come in for this beautiful Mojo, but then you have to buy something else. It's all right here. So
we're saving the planet too. Don't forget that.
That's right. Every Mojo you meet, one tree is planted somewhere else, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and people are going to choose what continent the tree can be planted on. And look, this is going to be a few thousand trees. We know it's not going to save the world, but our intent with this was just to, show we care and make a difference. And we have much more planned. Actually, we're talking with other projects, and if other projects can follow our lead, this whole space, can actually make a little difference, we think. So that was really our intent with this, and really easy for people to understand too. So we're excited about this.
I mean, we've proven we're not the typical or the normal NFT or gaming project, and we've always done things a little bit different. But really, we're very transparent, as you can see, and just want to start with, continue on with the transparency along with our offering and what our intent is on a global scale to give back to Mother Earth as well as the community.
One thing we've been asked to, as this slide shows, is these are game 3D playable assets, but they're also PFPs. We took a lot of time to design different attributes, rarities, etc. And, we will most likely be airdropping PFP images to the owners as well. So that's another little tidbit we haven't really said publicly, but we've been talking about it. So yeah, this is our
Crypto he got some alpha dropped on him.
I really like it. So I think it's just as a collectible, it's already amazing. The 3D animated Mojos. It's just beautiful to one of these creatures. Then the tree, the tree that is going to be planted. I mean, I really get that, guys. I mean, I think you're really doing good things for our planet. And then we're also going to be able to use the Mojos in the upcoming game, which is going to be released in 2 months, I guess.
2 to 3 months, August, late summer. We've been saying as soon as we can. I mean, we'll be showing off some teasers soon. I showed you some privately, and I'll show a gameplay shot we have in here as well. But yeah, it's fully coming along, and we're going to be showing more of it off soon to the public.
That's something something that I do think is really good, because usually in NFT gaming, people buy the NFTs and then they have an NFT that has no utility for 1 year many times. And then they do IDOs and you buy the tokens and you have to wait for the game to come out. But here, no, we're going to buy NFT and in 2-3 months, we're going to be able to use it right away. So I think that's good.
It's one of many reasons why. Oh, sorry. I was going to say one of many reasons why we chose to do auto chess, because as opposed to a MMO or a giant RPG, those could come later, but we wanted to deliver something sooner to people, maybe having a set of smaller games as opposed to one, giant game that takes 3 years. Sorry, Kendria, go ahead.
No, because I was just going to say, because you would never say it about yourself, just the timing.
That's why you're here.
That's true. Yeah, It's just, if you think about it, though, the quality of what you're seeing, and to know that there's going to be a release late summer, again, is a testament to the quality of this crew, right? Designers and developers, is that they can put out some amazing quality like this, and it's not just conceptual. We've already shown, but again, it just goes to the value of, you get what you get what you pay for, and you get who you invest in, and this team is really worthy of the investment.
Really nice. Really, I'm really hyped about this.
This shows in the gameplay and auto chess, like as you're playing, you can level up all these characters, so they get more powerful as you play, and that's what this is showing. But
What's that? Is that the cleric? Is that the cleric?
He is. I think he's a paladin or a cleric. Yeah, you're warm. I have to look that up actually. But I wanted to show you also. Now we've just started showing what these guys actually look like in 3D. They came out amazing, and we're just starting to show these off here.
Really cool.
Yeah, we're going to be releasing more bios about the characters and their background. If people aren't already, one of the characters, Brooka the bear, has a Twitter account, and he's been tweeting his field journal as he's been out in the wilds of Planet Mojo. So if people want more insight into the story, highly recommend you go back and read his tweets as well.
Got to check that. So we got here some new viewers, GNC and LXB. Welcome to the stream. We have here some questions for you guys. So GNC is asking, with the art being so lovely, is there a plan for physical 3D miniatures of Mojos and Champions?
Wow, great question. Well, as you know, or may not know, I think I said earlier, but we've worked with toy companies for honestly a couple decades now. So we've had some conversations underway already, is all I'll say at this point, and it's something I would love to see happen, to see miniatures of Mojos for people in different way. So we're looking into different options. Yeah, love the idea.
Okay, so we also have here a question from Alex B. So Alex B is curious about Planet Mojo's IDOs. So is it only going to happen on Polkastarter, or is there going to be something else? And are NFT holders going to be whitelisted for this?
Yeah, in terms of, you're talking about the well, two things. There's the NFT sale. That's just happening with Polkastarter, and we're doing our big one, as I said, on Monday, and people can sign up till tomorrow. For tokens, that's one thing that's different about our project. So thanks for asking this. We didn't launch a token right off the bat. We wanted to lead with our NFTs and art and content, and we plan to launch our token when the game, which here you're looking at a early screenshot of, comes out around this summer as well. So we're still solidifying our plan. Yeah, we may work with some launch pads for the token. We'll also most certainly be listed on some exchanges as well, SEX, DEXs as well. So there'll be different options, we hope.
But are NFT holders going to have like a white list or guaranteed spot or something?
We're working that out with our partners in terms of how that will happen, but we will be rewarding people as much as we can to do that. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Give some perks to the early adopters, to the early birds. That's nice. So we have here Be Happy Now Studio. He wants to know more about auto chess, how to play it. So I think that's what you were going to talk about now, right? You have here the image.
Good screen to talk about this on. But so yeah, I mean, auto chess. So we made a game in 2017 with this guy Phil Tippett, who worked on Star Wars, Legend, and visual effects, and he made like the holo chess scene in Star Wars, if people remember, when Chewbacca, played C-3PO. And now it's been in many films and stuff. So we made a game kind of based on that with his characters. And then a couple years later, Dota 2 came out with sort of the first modern version of what's now called auto chess. And many other games came out over the next 6 months based on big franchises. The biggest one right now is probably Teamfight Tactics. If people haven't heard of that, they could look it up. It's based on the League of Legends characters. And auto chess is sort of it's almost, I guess, a subgenre of an auto battler where it's round based. You can see here in the typical format, you're playing against 8 other players in sort of a round robin tournament. And as you play, you're acquiring gold, you're leveling up, and you're drafting new characters in between each round. So a lot of the strategy comes in. You can see there's a little countdown timer here. You sort of have a certain amount of time to place down your champions, your mojos, draft new ones. And then one special thing that we're adding into the equation are what we're calling spell stones, which are spells that the mojos can cast. And those can be placed on your characters, on the enemies, on different spots on the board. Eventually, we'll have hundreds of them based on what subclass the mojo is to use. And I know Bruno is into potentially using them during the battle, which we listen to the community, and we definitely want to experiment, with different tournament modes and battle modes as well. So look for things like that as well. And send us, your ideas on Discord, because we're always looking. But yeah, it's basically how it works. We'll have a sort of a dual mode where you can play PvP, and then like a more of a tournament mode where you can play against other players. And we have a big emphasis on tournaments in general. So we've always been about play and earn. And to us, that means, shifting the focus back towards fun and having sort of regular tournaments that people can participate in, which we have a variety of different methods, and partners that we've been talking to and working with to have different types of tournaments with prizes.
Which are like in the Moj, right? The governance token,
Yep.
and also a bit of horse sometimes.
Yep, exactly. And other possible in-game rewards and other prizes as well. So yeah, we also plan on having some staking possibly early on with mojos and other types as well.
Okay, I'm glad that you actually touched in the rewards. And the next question is about tokenomics. So one of the questions that is always in the mind of everyone who's like investing in NFT gaming, because nowadays gaming is it's gaming, but it's also an investment at the same time. It's kind of a balance between both of them. So the question is like always like, is this sustainable in the long term? So could you answer that question and maybe do some comment on the current tokenomics of Planet Mojo?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll give you a very honest answer. How's that? Just for you, Bruno, and your community. We don't know, and nobody does. That's the reality of this space.
That's true.
We've put a great deal of time into studying this space, studying other games, working with our partners, Republic, Animoca, others on our tokenomics. And if you look at what we're doing, that's why we're taking a very slow, conservative approach, because we've looked at other games. It's easier in this space to point to what doesn't work than what does work at this point.
That's true.
And so there's going to be a massive amount of discovery and change over in this space over the next 6 to 12 months as higher quality games come out, all with different business models searching. And so you're going to see, things emerge that work and many things that don't work. And so
most of them, most of them won't work.
And so that's why we're starting with one token, really keeping it outside the game as a rewards and governance token initially. We have Aura as a soft currency only, so we can have much more control of it. We hope to also be working with this company, Machinations, which is working with some other games that can run thousands. We're already working with it internally, but with their expertise, run thousands of simulations on our economy before it launches and after it's live with real data to make sure, to the question that it is working. And, we've also worked on free to play games, and that's where some of the team comes from. And if people play those, if they don't know this, there's always, economists working on those games too, tweaking the economy from behind the scenes. Crypto is like that, but it's even more volatile because you have outside forces and your token and everything. So all I can say is, yeah, we have a definite team of people dedicated to it, and it's not something we're we're taking lightly, and we hope to be one of the companies to kind of figure this out. And that's why we really have a emphasis on, the tournaments and play and earn. Sorry.
And you have to think about it too. I mean, we always give a respect and a shout out to Axie Infinity, who actually is like an OG in the spot. And we use them kind of as a test study of what went well and what didn't go so well, right? So
Yes.
for that, we pay lots of umbrage to them for kind of citing the way that in balancing these economies, one, you have to be transparent with your community. You have to let them know we can do this and we can do this together. I mean, it's the only time in history, right? In normal traditional games, you just go to Best Buy or to your local game shop and you buy it. You don't have the opportunity now to work with actual developers and designers to give input, give some wisdom, and then actually become like the test study on balancing and making sure that you've got that fun. But when you're dealing with economies too, it's one with a long-term view. And so for that, I would say we've become very good students of looking at other models. And I think to Mike's point, somewhere in the way, there's going to be a compromise and there's going to be a customization that's going to work for our game and for all the other games that are coming out. But it's having that desire to be very transparent in your design and realizing that it's going to have to move and evolve just like this whole space is. I think that's where your really strong projects are going to emerge, the ones who want to be transparent and build with their communities. Mike, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to add that, I think, Bruno, you agree, like, we think this is like the beginning of a paradigm shift for games.
Yes.
And, when you've been around as long as I have and some of our other team members, you can see the gray hair, we've seen other paradigm shifts. And this is a good and a bad thing. I think that the thing that's different this time is in other paradigm shifts, there's always been this one example, like Farmville, whatever. Okay, everyone just copies that. We'll just copy it. And we saw tons of clones, right? That's good and bad. The good is that we see so much experimentation now because we don't have that perfect model here. So that's what's exciting, honestly, to us, is there's no rules. You can, you got to try things and be willing to fail, honestly. That's kind of, I think, the key to this.
Yeah, I do believe that Axie definitely, I agree with you. Axie definitely brought up a new idea to the gaming space, and many other projects are analyzing Axie right now and seeing what went wrong, what went well, and what didn't go so well. And yeah, I think it's a matter of trial and error because you can have like an economist on your team, and theoretically things are going to work. But there's so many variables. It's like the current state of the crypto markets, volatility. I mean, there's so many variables, and it's so hard to like build a self-sustained economy. And yeah, I hope you guys really make it. I really like Planet Mojo.
Makes me think of the Mike Tyson statement. Everyone's got a plan.
I was thinking that.
In the mouth.
But yes, it's that desire. It's that desire to be long term, and I think ultimately, to your point, Bruno, I think that's what people need to look for is what's the long term outlook for the project, for the team that's over the project. And so we're willing to crack a couple of eggs to get this thing right because we're committed to the space.
That's really nice. That's really nice. So we have here some questions from our viewers right now.
Cool. I'm going to show this tease from the cinematic while I listen and people can watch. Go ahead.
Sounds good. Show us. So Alex B is asking if there's any upcoming funding rounds, like private sale or...
We're kind of done with that. We've raised quite a bit of money, more than has been announced, actually. We may be doing another round at some point, but we have a large runway now. We're very comfortable to be able to launch the game, and so right now that's sort of something that's on pause, and we're focused building.
Okay, that's cool. And what's your marketing strategy? From Mayor Mayhem? Welcome to the stream.
I mean, we've been doing everything possible in terms of many different AMAs and social and working with our partners. We're actually have multiple marketing partners that we work with in terms of agencies, some of the best in the space, and we're ramping up those efforts. We're actually just hiring a new internal marketing director with incredible gaming experience. So we're very excited. Our marketing will only get better. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
This
And
is a
she,
shot
oh,
from the
sorry.
from the beginning of the cinematic and that mysterious object I was talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, what I was also going to say too, I mean, for those who have been with us in the project since the beginning, they understand too. We've never been like super like shilly or really high price like marketing. I always tend to distrust those people because you're trying to like hardcore sell me right away. We've always kind of done an organic ramp up because we really want people to be able to see the moves that we're making so that that transparency is coming
We,
through. So you'll see us ramping up, but we didn't come out, out the gate with all this glitz because, then you're like, can you really deliver? I mean, people are seeing us in every stage delivering this
we,
product. And
we
so
wanted to grow organically with people who
absolutely.
really
Makes sense.
believed
Makes
about the
sense.
project and not just we not just shill, which is
Yeah.
very common in the space. So we've been just careful who we've been partnered with so far.
I
Absolutely.
actually like that. I mean, we see so many projects where they're growing strategies to go on Twitter and okay, $100 retweet this 5 times and tag 5 friends and you might get $100 like this every day. And I think that's like artificially growing the community that maybe isn't that interested in the products. So
Absolutely. So, I mean, for me, from a community perspective, I really would rather see slow growth because then I know that these people are really like dug in to the project and to our narrative. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest too, I'm old too, right? I believe that word of mouth is also your best marketing. And so, if you are involved and you tell a friend and they tell a friend, I mean, that's really where you see true growth and community that's really entrenched
And,
into what you're doing.
and to pat Gendria on the shoulder and all of us, I guess. I mean, we have had amazing growth the last month. It's been incredible. We're moving into that sort of in our socials. We're a few clicks away from being near like what the top projects have. There's only so many projects in this space, and we track them. And so, yeah, it's exciting to see the growth we've had. It's pretty incredible, honestly.
I think people really want to be connected to something that they can believe in that's real, a vision, a game. I mean, from an outsider who was looking in, some of these gaming communities, even in traditional, me even looking like, I mean, they're rabbit followings. I mean, my kid is 8 years old. He's Minecraft. You've got, Fortnite, like, Halo, like all these communities. I mean, it's really amazing, and I think that blockchain is an amazing experience to be able to bring that into our industry and yeah, take over.
that's nice, actually. So I would like to go back a bit to tokenomics. So you guys mentioned that basically the way to earn is through tournaments mainly, right? Which is where you actually get Moj. So basically, you know exactly how much Moj is going to be distributed to the community who's playing the tournaments, right? There's like a limited amount per tournament.
Exactly. There'll be other ways to earn Moj though as well. We're going to be releasing more details on this soon, but we have sort of what's equivalent also to a battle pass system as well. So as you rank a ranked battle system that the more you pay into, the also gives you higher potential to earn
Oh,
more as well.
something like Blanco's party, where you have like
Oh,
also the
Blanco.
battle pass. Okay.
I know Blancos, and I don't know how they do the battle pass exactly, but it sounds similar. It also really comes from just Web 2 games, traditional games that have battle passes, but adding in that real life earning component to it as well. Um, yeah, and then as I mentioned, we also will implement staking, hopefully before the game even launches, and that'll be another way to earn Moj as well.
Okay, and what about NFT holders versus free players. Like the
Yep.
game is going to be free to play, right? So what's going to be difference?
Well, so the way we're looking at our waves initially is our launch is in waves. Our first early access release will be to NFT holders as a reward and for our first tournament, and also just to help us balance the game, give us the most feedback. Then for our full release, let's say late fall, we'll have 20 plus champions hopefully by then, and then we do want to introduce, let players be able to try this game. We're still working out the details of exactly how that's going to work, but in principle, we want it to be fair and logical, right? And it's pretty simple. It's like the more you buy in, the more chances you have to earn. And so, just like in free to play, people who could play the game have fun, but maybe they have very little or no chance to earn versus once they buy in or buy an NFT. Or the other thing we haven't even talked about is our battle stones. So in our land-based gameplay, which is kind of Animal Crossing-esque light,
The biomes,
yeah,
right?
our biomes, what we call them, and we're actually going to call it Mojo Land as well, with the game title, and the biomes are the different types you'll have in it. But you'll be collecting resources in them and crafting, and ultimately, the ultimate thing you can make in this first release are battle stones, and those are NFTs. So people who craft those will mint those NFTs, have them in their wallets. They can use them for tournaments, for earnings. They can also trade them to other players, sell them, loan them, split earnings with others. So the battle stones are sort of like our second commodity in the game without having a true token.
That's cool. That's really cool. So you get the battle stones by playing in the biome land play, right?
Yeah, it kind of works together in a loop. So you win ore in auto chess, Mojo Melee, and then you can use that either to upgrade your characters or also to help with crafting in the land-based biome play.
Okay, that's cool. So we have here some new viewers. Guys, welcome to Mayor Mayhem. Welcome to Tom's Plusy Cryptocurrency GNC. Oh, you were already here. So we have here some questions. So Mayor Mayhem wants to know if you guys are confident that you'll mint out your NFTs during these dark times in crypto.
We've had incredible response on our own list, honestly, and yeah, it's a mystery. Obviously, every day, the market changes and people's sentiment. We're confident that our community is going to show up, especially for our sale. But hey, look, I think the main thing to say is we're in this for the long haul, and you're going to see so many new gaming projects coming into this space. I think it's going to be people kind of this, you have to mint out in 5 minutes thing. It's not going to be as important to projects that have depth behind them. That's sort of more, it's like you look at it like an iceberg. These are the projects that just have a tip. We have a lot underneath us, and I think the people who do mint early are, we're going to certainly reward them, and it's going to pay off in the long run because we're going to be here for a long time.
Absolutely. And, market conditions right now, I think it will, although most of our who have been in the space, our pockets are hurting right now. I actually think it's going to make us more of discerned buyers and investors. And to Mike's point, being able to research projects and actually seeing the depth behind it. So I know that everyone, like the old school was, yes, you had to sell out in 5 minutes, but in a market like this, that's not necessarily the case, right? And so yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm always the ever optimist is that we're going to sell out because I already know what this game is capable of doing, and I wish that people could just sense my energy on that. Like, don't blow it, don't miss out. But my mom always said that cream rises to the top, and it's certainly going to do so in this case.
Yes. So one thing I would like to add up is that recently all the projects that did some mints like Phantom Galaxies, Rebel Bots, Boss Fighters, none of them minted out. So I would say that even if you guys don't mint out, I mean, it's not much of a big deal if you actually take into consideration the current crypto market conditions. So for example, Phantom Galaxies, they have like a community of 100K members, and they're still selling their asteroids and also rebel bots. Personally, I don't like that project that much. I think that the gameplay is too simplistic, but there was like so much hype. All major influencers were around that project, and they minted out like 55% right now. So I would say that it doesn't mean anything, even if you guys don't mint it. So we have here some new viewers, guys. Welcome to the stream. Tiziano Silvi, Sunny Key, and we have a question here. Is NFT rarity influent in NFT power? Champion speaking.
Great question. So at launch, the rarities are more of an NFT collectible feature. They don't have direct influence in the game. When we launch the biomes, those have rarities and those will have more effect in the game. That doesn't mean we might not over time unlock some special features for the legendary mystic ones in the game. But at launch, it's really just more of a NFT collectible. It affects how they look, like the backgrounds, the animation, etc. But as I said earlier, once the game comes out, you'll actually be able to update those as well yourself by playing and winning things. One
That's
thing we
nice.
didn't one thing I want to mention too is that hasn't come up or people usually ask is, we're very much looking at our game as a global game. It's a global community. We have many different languages and people on our Discord if people come in there. And while we'll launch a game with VO and English at launch, we totally will localize the game over time into different languages, translate of where we have the biggest community. So we definitely, and that will come into play with tournaments and with our guild partnerships, which we have many of as well. So yeah.
Okay, now we have here another question from Be Happy Now Studio. Will higher rarity have higher staking rewards for Mojo staking?
That has not been determined or announced yet, but that's great input. Thank you.
That is great.
Okay, now a question about myself, a bit more generic about NFT gaming overall. So guys, do you think that NFT gaming could be the trigger for the next bull market?
Go ahead, Kendria.
I believe it really does have the potential, yes. And the reason why I say that is because who doesn't love games? You know what I mean? And if you can develop it and you can execute it on a way that is simplified, where Web 2 can easily make the transition into Web 3 and actually enjoy and have fun playing this, then they'll come in waves. And that's what the space needs. I mean, we need people who want to just enjoy and get away. And I mean, if you want to look at it, Axie again actually exposed a whole group of people to what a wallet was, right? And then when they came up with the Ronin and the Katana Dex, they onboarded so many millions of people onto Web3 who really didn't even realize it. And so they themselves brought on a ton of crypto users. And so I think if all of these projects, if we all get together and make it such a very easy transition, I do think that the gaming space can ring the next bell.
I'll add this to that too. Well said. And this is me like immersing myself in the space now for a year plus, studying it and learning and still learning. But like what it seems to me this space needs in general is like projects that have depth, not as opposed to like things that are front loaded. And I think games totally, not just us, because we have projects we're fans of, and like Axie, even just the reason I was attracted to Axie from the beginning was like, oh wait, it's a real game. They have a game. And I think, as Kendria said, the cream is going to rise to the top, and this space needs to sort of weed out the projects maybe that are fluff and not delivering, and just keep selling and don't offer actual gameplay to people. And, oh, here's more NFTs to buy and more things, and oh yeah, we'll get to the game eventually. Versus projects that are really building games, and are going to deliver and get people playing as soon as possible. And I think that's going to sort of, those types of projects, which we're trying to be like, are really going to pull in, new types of people. And we're good also at UI and trying to make things easier as much as we can to sort of bring those people in and educate them.
Okay. So, guys, for our viewers who are here today, make sure you hit that like button so more people join the Planet Mojo party we're having right here. So, I actually agree with you. I think NFT gaming has so much potential. We saw that with Dexy. And I think what could like trigger the next bull run could be the adoption that NFT gaming could bring. Like, for example, there are games where you don't actually need to know anything about crypto, but then obviously going to get some tokens, and eventually you're going to be incentivized to learn about it. But it's not mandatory that you know about crypto. So, are you guys
That's
going to have?
absolutely true.
Sorry, you're going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I said that's absolutely true.
Okay. So, are people going to need to know? Are people going to need to have knowledge about crypto in order to enjoy Planet Moji?
No, I mean that's once we get to our full release, that's exactly how we want to have this set up. There'll sort of be two paths to enter, right? And you can think of it even like from traditional games, right? We're free to play, where you can just play a game initially. You don't have to give your credit card or buy things. You can just enjoy and see if you like the game. And then, obviously as you keep playing, we're going to be explaining to you the benefits of if you were to, you know, own your assets and have control of them and all the other benefits that crypto gets you and sort of help people slowly move into that, crypto space. And ultimately, right, they have to take the leap and set up a MetaMask or a wallet, etc. But they don't have to do that from day one. We want it to be fun first. That's what play and earn means. And so we couldn't agree with you more. That's sort of our long-term vision, which will be coming soon.
I mean, even
Makes
with the
sense.
selection of this being browser based, and Mike can go,
But yeah, I didn't say
more
that.
into that, is making it more of an on ramp
Accessible.
for people and then making it accessible.
Yeah,
I think
well,
it makes sense. I think it makes sense. Like this, you're targeting two audiences, which are like the Web2 gamers, the traditional ones, and also the Web3 enthusiasts.
Yeah. And I don't
The-
know if you know this or not, but 100 Thieves, which is a really big esports team, they're actually are making huge strides into gaming into this space now, and I think they're going to also help bridge that divide between the traditional gamer and and blocks and blockchain and block in the blockchain space to make that marriage happen sooner.
and look, I say this on every AMA we do. I'm sure you're going to agree with me, Bruno. But like I say, the dirty little secret of crypto gaming is that all of these people who are following us, they're gamers. They play Web2 games just like you do. And they're waiting for their two passions to come together and they're sort of following the space. And like they're just a subset of Web2 gamers who are already crypto enthusiasts.
Well, yeah, I would say that the broader audience, they're all gamers. They were all gamers before. I would say like there's maybe a small percentage that are just NFT flippers,
Oh, sure. There's
investors,
definitely just,
but
yeah.
that's a minority, I would say. So we have here some more questions from our community. Major Mayhem, why do you guys choose to use Unity over Unreal Engine 5? Familiarity?
Yeah, one of the reasons was familiarity. We didn't also say we're building on Polygon. We should slip that in. But yeah,
That's true.
we've used Unity for over a decade. We're using actually the rendering engine for the rendered Mojos, which you can see how good they look. And Unity, Unreal is amazing on the high end, and for Unreal 5, it's hard to argue with. But for where we wanted to bring this game to make it accessible, to not need a super high end graphics card and a giant download, Unity has a lot of advantages in terms of porting different platforms, and we just have so much experience with it.
Okay, so we have another question from Sunny Q. Can we trade the NFT, and on which platform is it going to happen?
We're on Polygon, so our sale is on Polygon, and the game will be on Polygon as well. You'll initially get a Moj seed, which a week or two later, you'll be able to plant and sprout, and you'll randomly find out which Mojo you get. You can trade or sell it whenever you want. If you are the holder, when we airdrop champions, whoever is the holder of a sprouted mojo will get those airdrop champions. So if you sell it early, you won't get those, but the person you sell them to, the holder, will.
Okay.
So yes,
That's
yep.
So that's good. Incentivizing people to actually hold the NFT, I would say that's smart. So one last question from my part. Uh, which other games you guys play?
I mean, we honestly, I'm usually playing whatever genre we're making because I'm immersing myself in it and studying it. So, last year I was playing every VR title out there. If you want to ask me about those, we can go
VR.
deep. For the past, 6+ months, really been playing TFT. Clash Mini is one that Supercell has come out with that we've studied a lot. It's not out everywhere; it's only out in certain countries. But and Auto Chess, I like. There's actually one called Auto Chess, which was the original crew from Dota. So been playing a lot of those games, just seeing how they work, seeing like what we like best, what the community likes best, where we can innovate, and trying to just understand the genre as much as possible. And I like them; they're fun. Historically, I love adventure games too, because that's where I came from at LucasArts, and I still pay attention. The new Monkey Island, I think that's cool, and things like that. I'm probably not as hardcore as you.
I'm not that much of a hardcore gamer, actually. Actually, nowadays I barely have time to play games. That's irony. I work with games, I analyze NFT gaming projects. I'm always
This
doing
is what
M&As,
happens. This is what
videos,
happens.
and I don't have time to play games. That's the irony of destiny. So, do you know that we actually already have a VR NFT game coming out, which is Boss Fighters? You should give it a check.
Cool.
I think it's going to be like the first one to implement a play and learn system with the VR. So big emphasis on that.
That's cool.
What about you, Kendria? Do you play games? You told us you're not much of a gamer, right?
Oh, it's totally
Yeah,
a fun place.
whatever I play badly. It's like being the person to be chosen last for kickball. So my son plays with me out of desperation because he's an only. But Halo, Minecraft, and
Oh,
Axie actually.
Axie. Oh yeah, they have Origin right now. That's cool.
Indeed.
Doesn't he play Roblox too?
Yeah, he definitely plays. He plays Roblox as well. My kid is the consummate gamer, so that's either going to bode really well for us in his future, or he's going to be a slacker kid. So I don't know. We tend to just buy it. So I understand about people will buy assets in game because it seems like every week that's where his allowance is going.
I've always gravitated to games that like blend the gameplay with social. That's why I was an Animal Crossing fan early off, and I'm not very social, but in games, I tend to be more like games like that involve the community, and that's what we see. Blockchain is like the next level of that, really.
Yeah. Asset, you've been able to own your own assets and trade them freely. I do believe that's the next level because many of the things that happen in Web3 gaming were already happening in Web2 gaming. Like, for example, selling gold, selling items,
100%.
skins.
100%.
So I think what we did here with the Web3 technology was basically giving players the freedom to do it. So it's not illegal anymore to sell the in-game resources. It's
Less
not illegal
scamming.
anymore, the skins.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened here was like what the community actually wanted.
You get it 100%. And the other part of it is community. Community in gaming has become a major thing in the last decade. You have game dev blogs. This takes that to the next level where we're giving community voting and governance eventually and a big voice in what we do. We look at our community as, one of our team members.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, I remember there was like one time where actually World of Warcraft gold was more valuable than Venezuela's currency or something.
Well, exactly. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Insane,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So we're going.
And I'm sure Axis was by many other countries as
Yes.
well.
Indeed. So we have like two last questions from our community. Any idea about cross-chain merge token feature? So I guess you're going to launch on Polygon, multiple decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges. So it's going to be available everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anything Ethereum based, but we are actually talking to partners as well, and some technologies we may be using that. I mean, let's put it this way: we come from games, so we look at all these different sort of platforms or blockchains as different platforms, and when you make a game, you want to get it to as many places as possible. So we definitely plan on being as cross chain as
As
possible in
possible.
the future.
I think that's wise. So we have here one last question from Tiziano Silvi. Don't you think that Illuvium is going to be your main big competitor?
I mean, look, the way we look at this space coming from Web2 games where there were 100x competitors is this space is so new. We try not to be ultra competitive, honestly. Like we feel like we're all in this together. We're all going to learn things together. We have respect for them. They started early. We're able to catch a huge wave, and I've seen some of their gameplay, seen you playing it and stuff, and so
Yeah.
there is some similarities in it being an auto battler. They're also a giant downloadable, as far as I understand, where our game is going to be right in the browser
Browser.
or mobile. So it's sort of, I don't know enough about Illuvium to say, but yeah, there's some similarities, but we're really like focused on building what we're building, and making
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
unique in our story is pretty, I think as people start to learn a bit more, it's pretty compelling.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like you guys opened up the possibility for a much broader audience with the browser and smartphones. While maybe in Illuvium, you're going to need like a really expensive desktop to run it. So I would say that it was a nice strategy from your part. And I think that's a competitor right now in Web3 is not that much of a big deal. I mean, you came from LucasArts, you develop Web2 games. So maybe if you develop like FPS in Web2, you have like 100 competitors. In Web3, you have
Exactly.
one, so it's not that much of a big deal, right?
We have an
I think
amazing team, very experienced, and we're also scrappy. We're not, our team is, approaching about 20 core people with some partners, but we're not hundreds of people. We're all working incredibly hard. But we want to keep this, very close and have an intimate team. When things get too big, that's where you lose control and things kind of can spiral just to manage it. So we're good at being scrappy because we've done it for years, being an indie game developer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, guys, I have no more questions for you today, neither our community has. So, it was really a pleasure to have you guys here. I'm
Thank you.
really hyped about Planet
Great.
Mojo. Guys, meeting happening right now. So, make sure you give it a check. I'm going to leave all the details in the description. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're giving like whitelist spots in our previous video about Mojo. So, make sure you grab them. There's only like 4 left right now, and they're going to go really fast. And make sure you subscribe. In like 1 hour, we're going to have Grant Hasley from Undead Blocks and also George from Crypto Fight Club in our channel. Make sure you
Nice.
subscribe. Don't lose it, don't miss it. And guys, thanks a lot for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Mike,
Thanks
this is
for all the
awesome.
great questions from your community.
thanks.
And
Mike
you.
and Kandrea, it was a pleasure, really.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
again.
you so much.
Take care.
So, guys, thanks for watching. And I see Cryptomanics in the metaverse. Peace.